Welcome to the October 22nd Guilderland School District Board of Education meeting. Please silence your cell phones and stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first point in our agenda is the high school student representative.
Hi, my name is Parth. I'm one of your high school student representatives. It's such an honor to be here tonight. Side note, before I hand it off to Levin, since we haven't been here in a while, we have a couple things that we need to cover, so it might take a little longer, but we'll get it done as fast as possible. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Levin. I'm the other Board of Education representative. It's good to see you guys after a long time. So I wanted to start with the October SAT. So that was administered at Guilderland High School on October 5th, and the scores came out last week. So all students should be on the lookout for their scores on College Board, and they should check to see if they're happy with their score and if they decide to retake it or not. Also last week, the interim school reports came out, so students should go on eSchool to check if there's any discrepancies and see if everything's up to date. That's all from me. I'll pass it along to Parth.
Thank you, Levin. Also on the topic of SATs, Guilderland will be administering the PSAT this Saturday, October 26th, for juniors. The PSAT doesn't go into any type of gradebook, and colleges cannot see the score. It's just for juniors to be able to see what the SAT is like and get used to the format and the scoring. Also, homecoming was this past September 27th, and that included the football game, the Color Blast tailgate, and the homecoming dance. And there was a pretty good amount of attendance, which I would say is a big success. Finally, Trick or Treat Street will be this Saturday, October 26th. Trick or Treat Street is basically where all the clubs from Guilderland High School set up a booth in the school, and people from all around the district get to walk around and see what the clubs are like, and they get to get into the Halloween spirit, basically. They get to dress up and get candy, and it's a lot of fun. That's all from us. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great night.
Thank you. Thanks so much for the updates. Next is our public input for the 2025-26 budget development. Is there anybody here to provide public input this evening? Nothing heard. So I will move on to the National School Board Safety Week presentation. Andrew?
So, Craig Lips, our Director of Transportation, is coming up. 2%. There we go. Good evening, folks. I appreciate y'all having me here. The other day, Andrew and I were talking. This week is National School Bus Safety Week across the country, and he asked me if I would share some information about school bus safety in general, what we're doing here in Guilderland to enhance our safety and to keep up with modern technology. So you might have heard that we made a lot of changes in transportation. We really didn't make as many changes as it sounds like. We just had to keep up with the changes in the district and the demand. But we brought back some old practices. Guilderland notoriously has an excellent performance in everything that Guilderland does, and transportation has always done quite well. So this year, how do I advance this? Press the arrow. Oh, okay, sorry. So just a little bit of history about school transportation in general. It is required by law. It has been. The first compulsory education law was in Massachusetts in 1852, and New York did it 20 years later in 1874. Guilderland was transporting kids from Schenectady to Albany up until about 1950 by a contractor. And then a few short years later, Guilderland's built their first bus garage, which I believe is the current maintenance building, in 1950. And they bought their first 5 buses. Andrew, they were $31,000 for all 5. So The first bus garage was built in 1954. March 24th, 1972, right here in downstate New York, was a major accident that occurred with a school bus and a train. It killed 5 kids, and it prompted laws all over the country. Ever since, New York has led the way in safety performance when it comes to school transportation. Every school bus replaces approximately 36 vehicles on the road, bringing kids to school. So principals, picture your parking lots with no school buses. It would be jam-packed right out to the streets. So it does already have a good environmental impact, and the industry-wide, we're working on improving that. Currently, we operate 68 bus routes. 6 of the routes are contracted with 2 bus companies. Approximately 4,800 of our students ride our buses Monday through Friday. We transport to 53 different schools outside of the district, and one of the non-publics is inside the district. More than 5,000 miles every day, more than 1 million miles in 2023 and 2024. Our buses make 4,556 bus stops every single day. That's a lot. So we talked about safety enhancements here at Gilliland. We're actually stepping up our training program, doing some more professional development with our employees, transportation department wide. We got a new safety team. We are working on developing them, teaching them, getting them certified. We're doing better onboarding with new employees, so that way they're more comfortable. As everybody knows, we need drivers. So keep that in mind, please. More access to learning opportunities for transportation staff. You know, a lot of people think that there's no future in school busing. Unfortunately, that's a stigma that comes with our industry, our part of education. But the reality is there is. I started out as a school bus driver in 1999. So now I'm standing in front of y'all. And there's a lot of young people that do the same thing and follow suit. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of opportunity industry-wide, and the industry needs them. Right here in Guilderland, too. You know, I got probably about, I was just telling Mike, about 15 more years. So, opens doors to growth opportunities for our employees and better experience for our students and families. And again, they need to keep up with Guilderland. We upgraded our GPS units this year. We have Geotab. We had Geotab in the past. We installed new devices. They are faster, they're quicker, they're more accurate, and the devices themselves didn't cost the district anything. We're able to actually track driver behaviors and more safety analytics unlike before, and vehicle health and impending vehicle issues. We have had a couple breakdowns, and we have also been able to thwart about 3 or 4 other breakdowns because the system notified us. Bus patrol. I don't know if anybody else hears about it, but I get at least 2 phone calls a week. People got a ticket for running the reds. They have all kinds of excuses, and it's out of our hands, but it is a safety measure that Albany County took a few years ago. They were installed on our buses in 2023, and last school year we had over 3,000 violations issued. It's approximately 17 a day. Yeah, 17 a day people are running our reds. And listen, the AI on these systems, it's legit. You know, the people can, when they get a ticket, a violation, you can dispute it. You can go to court. You can win, you can lose. But I will tell you, the recording clearly shows the vehicle running the reds while students are getting on or off the bus. And that is the most dangerous time in school transportation. Unfortunately, that's when most fatalities occur in our industry. 22% of the violations occur on Thursday afternoons. 28% of them occur between 3 and 4 o'clock. 6% of them are out-of-state drivers. 9 of the 10 top locations, of course, is between 1600 and 2400 Western Ave down by Crossgates. 32% of them occur in the morning. So please keep an eye out. Watch for those red lights and those stop signs, because there's kids nearby, I promise you. 68% of them occur during the afternoon. That is the most crucial time. And our drivers are doing an excellent job looking out for these kids. So that 17 tickets a day, Bus Patrol continues to issue 17 violations a day. So by October 14th this school year, we issued 474 more violations. Our routing system was getting old and it was time to update it. We did our due diligence and we went with a modern TransFinder. We replaced the routing system with a management system. It's not just routing anymore. We're able to make sure the routes are safe, the bus stops are safe, the students are accounted for, as well as the employees, and better communication tools with the parents and guardians as well. And that is still in under, I don't know how to say it, but it's still in process because, yeah, under development, as Andrew would say. But in about another month or here, our GPS systems will be 100% solidified, and parents will actually receive notifications on when the bus is coming to the bus stop and when the bus has left the bus stop. 1 out of 3 students in the U.S. is routed on the TransFinder system, and it is a local company. The owner of the company is a resident here of Guilderland. Grew up, graduated from Guilderland, and they serve over 2,000 school districts across the country. Currently, we are buying Bluebird buses. Bluebird was the bus of choice in the past. At some point, Guilderland switched over to International. A few years ago, or a couple years ago, they started buying Bluebirds again. Bluebirds have been being built for almost 100 years. They're the longest standing bus manufacturer around. Now, some of the standard basic features, standard safety features that you won't see on the other buses is backup cameras. We tell drivers, don't back up on school property, bottom line. Now there's actually cameras on all the Bluebirds. It's not an option, it's already there. Electronic stability control, what that does is it helps the driver avoid running into things. That happens out there. People roll into other vehicles, whatever. The system will lock up the brakes within so many feet of a pedestrian vehicle or whatever. And they're more modern and more comfortable for student seating, believe it or not. I don't know if anybody rode a school bus, but those seats were like sitting on cardboard. Well, these seats are a little cushy, so the kids' ride is a little more comfortable getting to school. We're about to experience our first electric buses. They've been building, Bluebird has building buses, like I said before, over 100 years, and Gillen's fleet at one time was all Bluebirds, and they've been leading the way in the electric school bus transition. So they're ahead of the game on the other manufacturers as well. In Canada, believe it or not, they're in the 3rd year of their transition. So even though it sounds new to us and it sounds crazy and impossible, the reality is it's not. Canada has taken the lead on it. They're in the 3rd year. They force their school districts to do it, kind of like what our governments are doing to us. But something has to happen. You know, we're already doing our part for the, replacing 36 vehicles on the road, but our kids are exposed to those diesel and gas fumes, which aren't good here at school. So we need to fix that, and that's what the industry is working on. Bluebird EVs, they also, again, have the extra standard safety features that the other bus companies don't have, that we would have to pay extra money for. And the electric buses, they don't roll backwards like the gas and diesel ones do. After all said and done, the safest way back and forth to school for these guys is on the school bus. The numbers are scary of the kids that don't make it to school with their parents or with their friends or with babysitters that aren't in a school bus. Last year, there were no fatalities related to school transportation, industry-wide, which is remarkable. The number of students that didn't make it to school is upward to 1,000 in cars. So the school bus, it is important. And it's challenging right now because we're short drivers. And the current team we have here in Guilderland is excellent. They're actually really awesome. And when you see them, wave to them, thank them randomly. They already know they're doing a great job because we see what Guilderland kids do. We're committed to continue providing our students with excellent service so they can continue to get the best education around. And we do appreciate your support. With that in mind, don't forget we're hiring. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a great presentation. School board recognition.
You can hand that to me.
Marie.
So last week, when we did not have a board meeting, was the New York State National School Board Recognition Week. And so we have a wonderful tradition here in Guilderland that I will talk about in a second. But first, I want to share a proclamation that our governor put together to recognize all of you. So I'm going to share the heart and soul of it. This is from Governor Kathy Hochul. She writes, whereas our state's public schools consistently maintain high standards in every aspect of a student's learning experience so as to best meet the educational needs of all children and to empower them to become informed, productive contributors to society in an ever-changing world. And whereas we recognize the role of school boards in partnering with school administrators and educators to provide students with a safe and healthy learning environment and ensure optimum opportunities for intellectual and personal growth. And whereas members of local school boards are committed to serving the children in schools of our communities and devote many hours to elementary and secondary public education as they continually strive for improvement, excellence, and progress in education, recognizing that all children can be successful learners. And whereas these dedicated individuals are strong advocates for public education and are responsible for communicating the needs of school districts to the public and the public's expectations to the district by working closely with parents, educational professionals, and other community members. And whereas during School Board Recognition Week, special activities and programs will be held in communities across New York State, and it is fitting to join in acknowledging the commitment and contribution of members of our local school boards who help strengthen our public schools and ensure the best educational experiences for our children. Now, therefore, I, Kathy Hochul, Governor of the State of New York, do hereby proclaim October 14th through 18th, 2024 as School Board Recognition Week. And I would like to echo her sentiments. We could not do the work that we do here in Guilderland without the support of our school board. So thank you so much for that. So we have an awesome tradition here in Guilderland. We do not give our school board members a mug. Rather, our school librarians think about the board members who are liaisons to each of our 7 schools and think long and hard about what book would capture the essence of who and what you are and represent. And we have tonight our principals who will come forward and deliver the books that were selected just for you. Board members, you get to hang on to these for a couple days or however long it takes to read them. Middle and high school, they're much longer books generally. But then you give them back and they will remain in our libraries into perpetuity in remembrance of your work. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, Beth. Thank you. Hey. Thanks so much, Beth.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I should maybe take a couple months for this. All right. Yeah.
I can't wait to read it. It's wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
This is my first
Thank you. That would be great.
Email Teresa about
Thank
having
you.
her book. I can't
picture book that I've ever had.
I'll do it as soon as I get home tonight.
Thank you.
I'll be there. Thank you.
Hi.
belongs here.
I love the children's book.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you for introducing yourself.
He likes beard.
Oh.
Oh, I got it. This is going to be good.
Yes, there is a
Yeah, there's a.
I do too.
there's a plate in the middle, and you get to sign it, and we'll be there
Then
forever.
Challenge your kids to find it in the school library.
It's a good one.
Please enjoy them first.
That's cool.
So thank you, principals. Thank you to our librarians who every year just do an amazing job to pick just the right book, which of course is their area of expertise. So thank you once again, board, for your service. We truly appreciate it.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for that recognition. That's very kind. So the next is public comment. Is there any written in? Is there anybody here for public comment? Okay. Next item is the consent items that include the minutes of the September 10th, 2024 meeting and October 8th, 2024 meeting, the CPSE and CSE recommendations, personnel actions, financials, and financials. I have a motion to accept Meredith and second Katie. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Passes 8-0. So we're over to school business information. Andrew, are you taking this one?
Thank you. So district enrollment for state reporting purposes has been finalized. This is something school districts do each year on Beds Day, which is usually the first Wednesday in October. This year, October 2nd. These are the data that we submit to the state that are used for a number of purposes. The most pressing, or most important to us probably is generating state aid, particularly foundation aid. And this year, our overall enrollment was a year-over-year decline. So last year, we had 4,836 students. And this year, we are down to 4,817 students. We had projected a slight increase. By and large, most of our projections were spot on, but some of our elementary school projections is where we fell short. So we look at our outcomes and use those updated data in how we project the following year's enrollment. So we're reviewing everything and working on the projections for next year. But we showed a small decline. Again, the reason this is particularly significant is with the foundation aid formula fully phased in, you get per pupil aid. So we get a set amount of aid per student. So a decline in students, all other things being equal, would yield a decline in aid. But again, all things aren't equal. So we have factors like student need and inflation and all of that, even before we take into consideration they're redoing the formula. So we don't know how this will turn out, but we have a small decrease.
Andrew, is there any, has there been any trends in the past, like post-COVID possibly, or anything like that that
Yeah.
you noticed?
Yes, the largest trend is there are two trends. One, there are fewer births within our immediate area. So the state calculates data by statewide, regional, county, town, all those, but they also release school district births, and our school district births are decreasing. We also have a smaller percentage of inflow than we had historically. So one of the things we look at when we do the projections is how many students were born in the district, how many students, when that cohort ages up, are in kindergarten. Frequently in the past, there's been more students in kindergarten than there were births, but the last couple of years, we've seen that number, that ratio be smaller, and in some cases, a couple fewer students. But which suggests that we are going to have smaller cohorts coming up through the elementary school and then subsequently up to the middle school and then the high school. But what we don't know, because we had the shock of the pandemic, economic downturn, economic downturns tend to yield decreases in birth rates. So we don't know how quickly things will rebound.
So it's kind of gradual. It's been a decrease over the past? Probably slightly.
It was a
maybe?
sharper decrease in 2020 and 2021 births. We don't have district-specific data beyond that, but there was a fairly sharp drop.
I wonder if there's anything to the 2020 COVID baby burst that'll be going into kindergarten in 25 or 26.
But as I said, it's not just the
We'll find out
students,
maybe
but
next
also
year.
the needs of those students. And I think there are a lot of needs that young children that were born and experienced their earliest growth during the pandemic would have.
Interesting. Be interesting to see. Thank you. I'll move on to the superintendent information.
Thank you. I just have one item this evening, and it's a reminder that November 5th, Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, is our third superintendent's conference day of this school year. There will be no school for students K-12 that day, and we have a variety of professional learning opportunities that will be offered for all staff. Rachel's been working with her team, and the middle and high school have been working collaboratively to put together a menu of opportunities. I don't know, Rachel, if you want to chime in there?
Sure. We have some
opportunities for our 612 staff with some equity work in the mornings and with some department work focused around curriculum alignment to standards and benchmark assessments in the afternoon, common assessments. Our K-5 classroom teachers will be holding parent-teacher conferences, and for our TAs, we have a variety of opportunities that include some technology work, some DEI work, and some work with reading strategies.
And I'll just chime in as a reminder to families that we also have parent-teacher conference days for a full day on Friday, November 1st at all of our elementary schools. So there will be no school for K-5 students on that day. This is in place of having half-days sprinkled throughout the fall. So hopefully, we're seeing how this works, that our families will appreciate not having those half-days. So that's the plan. We can report afterward on how things went.
Great. Okay, on to action items. We'll start with school business management.
Thank you. I have 4 items for your consideration tonight. The first are 3 service agreements for services for students with disabilities and students whose needs are best met through alternative education programs.
Do you have a motion to approve all 3 of them, or is that one at a time?
All 3.
All 3 service agreements? Katie, second. Tara, any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 8-0.
Thank you. My next item are general budget transfers to the general fund for covering various salary codes.
Okay, motion to approve the general fund transfers. Nina, second. Tara, any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
Thank you. My next item is our internal audit reports, the corrective action plan. Each year, we contract with Questar 3 BOCES for internal auditing services. They do both an annual financial risk assessment as well as 1 or 2 special area audits, depending on the size or scope of those. This year, in addition to the risk assessment, we had an audit of our Medicaid reimbursement, and at the September 24th audit committee meeting, the audit committee met and approved the corrective action plan. The audit was done by internal auditor Ken Zabrowski, who we've worked with in the past.
Okay, motion to approve the internal audit and corrective action plans. Rebecca, second. Gloria, any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye, passes 8-0.
Thank you. And my final my final item are 4 donations. Flute from Dominic and Emily Rotondi. Monetary donation for CATA and Altamont Country Values for a therapy dog program. Donation of surplus furniture from the Bethlehem Central School District. And an anonymous donation for a Gaga ball pit at Altamont Elementary School.
Motion to approve the donations. Tara, and second is Nina. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Passes 8-0. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you, Andrew. Superintendent action.
Thank you. I have 1 item, but with 5 parts to it. We have some co-curricular club approvals for the board's consideration. At the high school, we have an Amnesty International Club with the advisor, Ms. Holt, a pickleball club with Ms. Murray, Girls for Sports with Ms. Whitney, and Flags and Heraldry Club with Mr. Ginder. And at the middle school, we have a Design Masters Club with Ms. Heimeller Ford.
And motion to accept the co-curricular club approvals. Nina, second to Katie. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 8-0. Okay, next is the board president action. There are 3 policies for approval this week. The non-discrimination and equal opportunity, which was info on October 1st, sexual harassment, which was also, all of them were info on October 1st, and the sexual harassment in the workplace. I have a motion to approve the 3 policies. Meredith and Kim, second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 8-0. Next is the board committee reports. I don't think the audit committee has met, right, Rebecca?
We have not met, but this might be a good opportunity to mention that we did have a resignation. We really appreciate Jason Mara's service to the committee for, I want to say, more than 10 years.
Yes.
Maybe 14 years, 15 years at this point. So we're very grateful for his service for all those years. But we are looking for another interested community representative to serve on the audit committee. Information about the position is available on the website. So please go ahead and read it.
Thanks. Business practices?
No, we haven't scheduled, no, we're good.
Okay. Communications?
Communications, we reviewed the exit poll results from the May 2024 vote. The district had a 72% approval rating of the budget, which is in keeping with recent years' results. The highest participation of voters were in the 65-year age group plus, and lowest was the 18 to 30-year age range. We looked at the top sources of information that people used for their budget vote, and the BOCES team who compile our results had a recommendation for this year's exit poll. They suggest that we simplify the questions regarding children, having children, grandchildren in the district. The group of voters with the lowest engagement was the 65% plus age group. They were also reported voting no more often in this age group, so we discussed ways to help engage and encourage their participation in the process, and we began to identify our priorities and goals, which we will have to continue on with at the next meeting on November 19th at 5 p.m.
Okay, thank you. DEI committee? We have a,
No, we're meeting tomorrow.
okay.
Yes, we haven't met since the last board meeting.
And policy?
We have not met since the last meeting, and we have nothing scheduled.
Okay. Are there any other public comments? No. We'll move on to the board issues, ideas, and sharing. Nothing. Okay. So we need a motion to end the meeting. Katie, Tara, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Meeting adjourned.